This will be a day long remembered. Now I am the master.
Welcome to another episode of Legends and Theories, and welcome to my review of The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, Episode 8 of Season 1, Alloyed. And with this, I think that it was a okay episode. It changed a lot of things, but also I don't think it was terrible. With it, just a brief mention of the series overall so far. I thought the series so far was good. It was not great, and with it, I do still look forward to seeing it, but this definitely isn't the greatest Tolkien adaptation ever. This is not The Lord of the Rings, but I don't think it's also terrible. I think that it's good for what it is, but I would still put, at least for now, The Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit trilogy above it. And with that, I also think that it's a flawed show, but it still has a chance, and I do hope that some of the criticism is taken in by the writers and they are able to improve on some of the stuff. It seems like they have, since the Harfoot storyline seems like, with the exception of Nori, is being fully cut out of the show. And with that, although I didn't hate the Harfoots as characters, I think that the story was unnecessary, and now having it down to the stranger who we now have a 1 in 4 odds of who he is, since it's confirmed he is a wizard. And with that, there's also going to be spoilers for the rest of this. I always forget to mention that, but with that, with the fact that he is a wizard, we know that there is, well, 1 in 4 odds of who he is, since he is a good person, and we know that he will not become Saruman, with the fact that Saruman turns evil, so that's why I say 1 in 4. And with that, it seems that they will almost certainly go with him being Gandalf. I don't want that to happen because Gandalf is someone who shows up in the Third Age, and I feel like he doesn't need to be part of the show. There is some versions of Tolkien that do have the blue wizards showing up in the first, or the not first age, the second age. So there is still a chance they could do that. And I don't know, the one where he says "follow your nose," I just randomly thought of Fruit Loops, and that was just a funny little moment. But I don't know, it might be. I don't think it was something from Tolkien, although I saw a review that said it was something similar to what Gandalf said. So I don't know, but I feel like they didn't have a Fruit Loop reference before Fruit Loops existed in Tolkien, although I might be wrong. But yeah, let's just going into the rest of it. There was two main stories with the cultist and the. I'll just go with the wizard for now. I like that a lot more than the stranger. And after that, we have the story with the elves and Halbrand, or as we learned in this, Sauron. And with that, I feel like the twist was one of the things that I felt like it could be too obvious to have actually happened, and I was thinking that there's a good chance he could be someone who becomes the Witch King, like many others did, and he would eventually become evil, but it would be because of Galadriel pushing him to reclaim his homeland, but with this, we have it fully confirmed that he is Sauron, and with it, he only gets him to make so far the three Elven rings, even though the song at the end acknowledges all 20 rings of power, and with that, the elves make 19 of those, with Sauron making the one and them making the three. And with it, one of my greatest fears just for it was completely thrown out by them getting rid of Sauron before anything, and with that, that fear was that he would be there to help make the Elven Rings fully. But with that, I was glad that that did not happen, since that would have been way too much of a change. I now wonder what's going to happen with the other rings being made, if those will be directly made by Sauron and passed out to the people, or if they will try and make some, elves will try and make some other rings that are not as great as the one that Sauron will steal from them. But with it, definitely interested to see where it goes, and I think that they also went with the Khazad-dûm storyline, and they were able to avoid everything with the Balrog showing up now, since they're not going to have to mine as much for Mithril, although they still will be able to. Well, this will eventually do that and release the Balrog, since we know that will happen by Lord of the Rings, but still, I enjoyed the show overall. I do not think that it is perfect, as I said, and I enjoy it for what it is. And I also did enjoy the Hobbit trilogy, but with that, I also see that as flawed. But this is a lot more flawed than that. This is not the unwatchable, near unwatchable garbage of the She-Hulk finale from yesterday, but still, I think that there was a lot of choices, and I just forgot to mention the small things in Numenor with the king seeming to have died and them returning. I also wonder why they haven't done anything with the Isildur being dead, although we know he is not dead, storyline, and I wonder what they're gonna do with Sauron now, since it is Halbrand, and we'll see how he was able to craft the One Ring, which I'm guessing will happen next season. I also feel like the crafting of the three Elven Rings, I feel like it was a little bit rushed, and I think that with it we could have had one more episode this season where they are trying to craft the rings throughout it, and with it they make ones that are basically trial rings, which will become, if they're going this way, since it seems like they're pushing it along, they could have made the trial rings, which would be the 16 that go to, with 9 going to men and 7 going to dwarves. That could have worked, but I still think that it is fine that they have it, since it is titled The Rings of Power, and they had to have Rings of Power in it by the end of the at least first season, because that would have felt really weird. But with it, I'm guessing the storyline of the next season will follow Sauron going and crafting the One Ring, and either the elves, or I think there's going to be a time where we have Celebrimbor secretly let in Sauron again, who will either go by Anatar or just continue on as Halbrand, and with that he will secretly craft the other rings, although he will make a pact not to tell him about the 3 rings that he has already crafted, or with that he'll tell him they exist, but when Halbrand or Sauron or Anatar or whatever he is going with as that identity from there will say that he thinks that they could make more to help the other races, and he will do it behind his back. And with that, I think that's how they could do it and still have the elves be involved with the crafting of the other ring, which is not the One Ring. And with it, I think it's gonna be interesting to see where it goes. I still do look forward to it, but I don't think the show is perfect though. But please let me know what you think of the show in the comments. And I'm gonna try to do more Middle Earth videos. I have not done much. It's typically just reviews, but I'm gonna try and have them be a little more frequent since the most frequent I've had is reviewing the show. But again, please just let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you all in the next episode of Legends and Theories. Thank you for watching this episode of Legends and Theories. Please subscribe, like the video, share the video, leave a comment, check out the video on screen, and may the Force be with you.